Renandya and also my colleagues, Ms. Dini Wulansari and also Mr. Sandy Fernanda. This online seminar will last for around 2 hours. And I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. We appreciate you taking time off your busy schedule to join us today. We hope you will learn a lot today. We have lined up for you to be fruitful and engaging. So before we start, let's pray according to our own faith. So I will lead you for the prayer. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, let's pray according to our own faith. Let's pray. Amen. All right. Let's listen to our national anthem, Indonesia Raya. And for the operator, please start the music now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, to begin this online seminar, we are pleased to have Ibu Diana Anggreni as the Vice Dean of Faculty of Social and Political Sciences to give her warm welcome speech. So without further ado, Bu Diana, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Pak Herlan. Okay, good morning. Honorable Chair of English Literature Department, Visip Universitas Bangka Belitung, keynote speakers, Dr. Rosaria, Mita, Amalia, and Dr. Willy, Renandya, distinguished guests, all lecturers, participants, committee, and below students. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused lecture to be online in the form of distant learning using learning management system platform. The shift in learning method from face-to-face to online synonymous with the use of technology has undoubtedly caused occurring both among lecturers and students. In the online process, lecturers and students are required to application so that the teaching and learning process is well or competence each party in digital literacy needs to be independently through training platform available in the public area. Online learning will be effective if there is good synergy between all and gentlemen, responding to changing current situation, English Literature Department, Faculty of Social and Political Sciences, Universitas Belitung, seminar that use technology in teaching English, accompanied by an explanation of challenges and opportunities contained in it. This is national of the event focuses more on the study of English. This event tries to describe and especially regarding the use of technology, which is currently being hit during this pandemic. Okay. Phenomena that arise, opportunities that can be explored from this phenomena are essential part that will be explained by the speakers in this event. Ladies and gentlemen, this activity is expected to be able to provide information as well as benefit and positive values for seminar participants regarding challenges and opportunities for distance learning using the latest technology. Finally, this online semester is expected to open our minds to be more aware of online learning during this pandemic and equip lecturers and students with knowledge, breakthrough, creation, and innovation in learning management system with successful use of technology in support online learning at this time. Finally, by saying Bismillah, I open the church online seminar. Welcome to join and thank you. Thank you, Pak Herlan.
Tampaknya masih di mute. You are still on mute. I think there's something technical problem with Mr. Herlan, with the speaker. Maybe you can put off the speaker, Mr. Herlan, and then only use the microphone on the laptop.
Okay, thank you, the operator, for functioning my speaker, because I've got a little bit problem with my speaker. All right, thank you very much, Abu Dayan Anggraini, for your wonderful remarks.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Herlan.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start the online seminar now. And for your information, the speakers to this online seminar are Dr. Willy Renandya and also Dr. Rosaria. I just read the old schedule, so I didn't get the sufficient information about this. I'm very sorry for that, because the two wonderful speakers today, I repeat, are Dr. Willy Renandya and Dr. Rosaria, and they are a great keynote speakers, and they have delivered their presentation in any institution, yeah. And for our moderator today is Pak Andri Fernanda, one of English lecturers at Universitas Bangka Belitung. So, please welcome Mr. Andri Fernanda to moderate our today's online seminar. Mr. Andri Fernanda, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Herlan. Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Andri Fernanda, and I will be your moderator for today's webinar. Okay, today we are presenting research and technology, challenge and opportunity in teaching, presented by English Literature Department, Faculty of Social and Political Sciences, Universitas Bangka Belitung, and we have a great speaker for today. Okay, just a little housekeeping before we get started. Right now, I have everyone on mute to avoid background noises that may distract us from listening to the webinar. Okay, as always, like our online seminar before, I will guide this online seminar in two languages, English and Bahasa, because some of our participants from different background, major, and department. And as we know that English is not a second language here, but still a foreign language. Okay, at this point, I want to introduce our speakers. Our first speakers, we have Dr. Rosaria Mita Amalia. She is an English lecturer at Department of Linguistics, Faculty of Cultural Sciences, Universitas Padjadjaran, and she is also a head of Career Development Center in the same university, Universitas Padjadjaran. Jadi luar biasa ini. Beliau juga sudah menulis dan menerbitkan banyak buku, jurnal ilmiah, menjadi reviewer jurnal di beberapa jurnal di dalam negeri maupun di luar negeri. Dan beliau adalah penerima beasiswa sandwich, scholarship of sandwich program funded by Dikti at Department of Linguistics, University of Pennsylvania, USA. For your information, S1 beliau ada ini double degree. Jadi beliau mengambil dua bidang keilmuan, sastra Inggris dan HI, lalu melanjutkan S2 di linguistik dan S3 di linguistik di Universitas Padjadjaran. And then we go to our next speaker, Dr. Willy Ardian Renandya. I'm looking for what is in his middle name, and I found in Google Scholar. So Dr. Willy Ardian Renandya is a language teacher educator with extensive teaching experience in Asia. He currently teaches applied linguistics courses at the National Institute of Education, Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. And he has given more than 100 keynote presentations at regional and international ELT conferences and extensively in the area of second language education. He maintains a large language teacher professional development forum called Teacher Voices, and you can access at www.facebook.com/group/teachervoices. Jadi kalian teman-teman, kolega-kolega bisa akses di Facebook ya, ada Teacher Voices. Beliau akan didampingi oleh Dr. Francisca Ivone dari Universitas Negeri Malang nantinya. Okay, I will explain how this seminar works. I will divide this online seminar into 3 sessions. Jadi saya sudah diberikan rundown acaranya kemarin. Akan dibagi 3 sesi. Sesi pertama akan ada pembicara pertama kita yang akan memberikan materi dan sharing ilmu selama 30 menit, yaitu Dr. Rosaria Mita Amalia. Dan kemudian sesi kedua akan dilanjutkan dengan pemateri kedua dan ketiga, yaitu Dr. Willy Ardian Renandya dan Dr. Francisca Ivone selama 40 menit. Selanjutnya akan ada sesi tanya jawab selama 60 menit. So someone on staff will be managing the chat functionality. In that session, question and answer session, you can type what you want to ask into the question box in your Zoom control panel. Or if you rather ask in person, you can also use the icon on the control panel to raise your hand to indicate that you have a question or comment. Then once you raise your hand, someone will unmute your line so that you can ask your question directly. And it's a big chance for you to ask in person now. Okay, now without further ado, we will turn the time over to Dr. Rosaria Mita Amalia.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Andri Fernanda. I would like to check whether my voice is quite clear for everyone here. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I would like to thank from two jurusan Sastra Inggris, Political and Social Sciences, Universitas Bangka Belitung, to have me for this very great seminar. And I would like to thank to Vice Dean of Vice Dean of the Political and Social Faculty, Universitas Bangka Belitung, Ibu Dr. Diana Anggraini, who has been in charge and also welcome us in this seminar. I feel so honored to have like this opportunity, having a time with the Mr. Willy Renandya from Nanyang Technology University to have like a little bit discussion later about material that we're going to deliver today. Okay, before I share my screen, I would like to welcome everyone here, audiences. My presentations is written in English, but maybe I will deliver the material mix between Indonesia and English. In this era, especially in pandemic COVID-19 era, the lecturers and the students need to adapt with the new normal adaptation actually. It impacts to almost to all fields in our life, including in educations, in academic life, in how we deliver the knowledge as lecturers to our students. We don't only discuss, let's say, about the connections between lecturers and students only in the higher educations, but it also affects to all life of the educations, all level of the educations. But for today, maybe I will focus on my experience as a lecturer in my university, Universitas Padjadjaran, during this pandemic era. So I have a title for today is a virtual classroom challenges and opportunities in teaching. So we don't only talk about the challenges actually, that the barrier we face during our learning process between the lecturer and the students, but we also talk about the opportunities that we can get from these situations. Okay. This is my a little bit introductions, yeah, because actually I believe that every lecturers in Indonesia and in the world, they have adapted with this kind of method before the COVID-19 pandemic era come actually. So it is not strange or odd for the students and also for the lecturers applying this kind of method, like in a digital or in online teaching. Sometimes we use some tools, some devices, or some features that can help us to deliver the knowledge to the students. Jadi saya pastikan bahwa keadaan yang memaksa kita kemudian untuk beralih dari from conventional method teaching to online or digital teaching itu bukan sesuatu yang baru. Karena di beberapa universitas sebenarnya ini sudah berlangsung cukup lama, yang kita kenal dengan e-learning begitu. Jadi bukan sesuatu yang kemudian mengagetkan. Jadi yang diperlukan di sini adalah hanya pembiasaan terhadap fitur-fitur begitu ya. Tapi memang when in this COVID-19 era, sometimes like we are forced to do all the things online only in a weeks, let's say. Ya, jadi dalam hitungan minggu kita kemudian harus memikirkan mengenai lesson plan yang sudah kita buat, berbagai kegiatan yang kita buat, kita harapkan bisa offline dengan mahasiswa, and then finally we need to change it. Tapi kan ini sudah berlangsung almost we have been doing this for almost like 6 or 7 months. Jadi mudah-mudahan ini adalah bukan sesuatu yang membuat kita terkaget-kaget, tapi adalah sesuatu yang harus kita biasakan menjadi metode yang umum yang bisa kita sampaikan kepada our students atau our college students begitu. Actually, in Unpad, we have LMS or Learning Management Systems, yeah, which is known by Live Learning in Virtual Environment. Maybe at the end of my presentations, I will try to open the platform, the website, so we can discuss about kind of feature, kind of online feature that has been served by this kind of LMS. And I believe that every institutions actually that have developed this kind of system in their own university, the system which is user friendly actually for the students and for the teachers and also for the university staff. I'm going to emphasize this. Adapting your existing lesson plans and teaching methodologies to the online world isn't something you can do overnight. We realize that in the beginning, it's like a big effort, a hard work from us, as especially for the lecturers to adapt to this kind of method. Di dalam kesehariannya sebelum masa pandemi, kita sudah menggunakan mix method actually ya. Kita gunakan Google Classroom, kita gunakan LMS, kita gunakan WhatsApp group untuk to share any materials, to have more deep discussions to the students, and then also to give kind of assignments ya. Lalu kemudian ketika pandemi itu terjadi, jadi kita kemudian harus melakukan penyesuaian untuk semua. Ya, semua berbagai yang sebelumnya kita lakukan mix ya, misalnya untuk tes sebelumnya tatap muka, lalu kemudian untuk tugas-tugasnya online ya, untuk beberapa pertemuan we try to mix some meetings into online and offline and so on. Jadi sekarang harus full. Ya, we only can have a deep communications to the students through online method. So it's hard for us now to have like face-to-face in a real life to have more discussions to our students, including how we supervise the thesis, the dissertations, or the article that the students is doing now, like writing an article. We also need to supervise them through online fitur, begitu ya. Jadi sebenarnya yang harus kita pahami adalah pastikan bahwa di universitas itu biasanya sudah punya yang namanya learning management system yang dikelola oleh tim IT atau tim pembelajaran dari tiap-tiap universitas ya. Kita bisa pelajari, kita bisa pahami, kita bisa buat akun, kita bisa buat kelas yang memudahkan kita untuk kemudian melakukan kegiatan online teaching. Okay, for the next, something that we can make sure that with the right tools ya, kalau kita punya tools yang tepat, so it's not gonna be a big problem when we want to have discussions with the students, deliver our material, asking questions, doing assignment, and then including grading, and then also having a quiz and so on. Jadi kalau kita punya fitur yang tepat ya, jangan khawatir, semua rencana atau lesson plan yang sebelumnya sudah kita rencanakan offline itu bisa kita pindahkan. Ya, pindahkan tanpa mengurangi makna, tanpa mengurangi kualitas dari lesson plan yang sudah kita rencanakan gitu ya. Kita punya fitur-fitur yang bisa membantu kita untuk melakukan assignment ya, memberikan tugas, lalu kemudian tatap muka, memberikan kuis, memberikan feedback dan lain sebagainya. Okay, so this is a part or focusing of my presentations today, that how do virtual classroom platforms works, begitu. Jadi apa sih yang harus kita lakukan pertama kali begitu ya? Mungkin sebagian ini karena ini pandemi ini juga bukan baru berlangsung 1 atau 2 minggu ya. Ini kita sudah menjalaninya for more than 6 months ya. Jadi mudah-mudahan ini adalah bukan sesuatu yang baru dilakukan oleh teman-teman semua begitu ya, baik dosen maupun mahasiswanya. Yang pertama adalah kita harus punya set up your virtual classroom. Ya. So it will be important to check whether your university has this kind of system yang tadi dikenal dengan learning management systems, ya, that host video lectures, online chats, assignment feedback, and quiz, and so on. Jadi sudah ada dalam paket. So we regard it as a one complete package. Jadi kita tinggal menggunakannya, ya, tinggal memaksimalkan penggunaannya. Ini yang menjadi penting, ya, bahwa your live stream is replacing an in-person lecture. So the quality of the content and the streaming should be the same. Jadi jangan pernah berpikir bahwa we try to reduce our quality of teaching because we have like barriers, ya, connections barriers, maybe communications barriers, including engagement barriers between students and the lecturers because we cannot see them face to face in a real life. Jadi sama begitu. Pastikan bahwa kualitasnya tetap sama. What we are going to deliver will need to be perfect, need to be prepared before. Jadi tidak bisa dianggap ini adalah 1 atau 2 level lebih rendah dibanding kalau misalnya kita melakukan tatap muka atau face to face teaching. Next, to create an engaging online classroom experience, use a high quality. Okay, so this is about technical stuff that we need to prepare. We need to provide to our virtual classroom, ya. Jadi Bapak Ibu bisa dipilih background yang cantik, ya. Kadang-kadang ada universitas juga sudah menyediakan backgroundnya dengan latar belakang universitas, ya. My apologies because today I'm not using the background of my campus because of the green screen, ya. Ini karena belakangnya, latar belakang saya bukan bukan layar yang putih, maka kalau ditembak gambar itu kemudian jadi berbayang begitu, ya, kitanya. Jadi malah akan mengganggu aktivitas. Jadi silakan dipilih background yang menunjang begitu, ya, yang background that can attract the students, ya, to have more focus on our subject, for example. Boleh juga dipakai ada lampu tambahan begitu, ya, ada tripod yang kelihatannya kita siap gitu, profesional. Mungkin kata profesional di sini tidak usah diartikan sesuatu yang mahal, ya, yang harus canggih, tapi dipastikan adalah kitanya siap, ya, di dalam virtual classroom. Jadi kemudian bisa tetap melakukan engagement dengan students gitu. Nah, di sini juga if you don't have a lot of technical expertise, you can simply use a computer and a microphone. That's all. That's it, enough. Yeah, because the most important thing, how we deliver the material, how then we try to engage with the students, and how can the students can adapt or absorb the material we deliver. Itu yang lebih penting sebenarnya. Lalu penting buat kita lesson plan yang sebelumnya kita sudah lakukan, kita sudah buat, ya. Ini adalah wajib kita membuat lesson plan untuk tiap pertemuan, metodenya apa, tujuannya, kompetensi, dan lain sebagainya. We can make it in a detail of sentence in our lesson plan. Nah, untuk di kelas virtual classroom ya sama saja, ya. Bahkan kita juga bisa membuatnya week by week schedule of topics, ya. Biasanya for one subject we have like 3 or 4 credits for one subject itu. Jadi di situ we can deliver the specific method we use for each meetings, and then also for the staff we need, for media, and then for the competency we expect the students get through the material, and so on. Jadi kita bisa bagi-bagi apakah di pertemuan ini saya akan melakukan apa, apakah ada discussion-nya berapa kali, apakah ada prakteknya, apakah ada assignment, quizzes, dan lain sebagainya. Begitu. Next, nah ini so it's part of our challenging actually as the lecturer, how we deliver the material in online teaching, not the real life. Because the survey found that students want more face-to-face interactions with their instructors. Jadi mereka tuh sebenarnya pengennya tatap muka begitu, ya. Karena memang ada sesuatu hal yang tidak bisa tergantikan. Tapi satu lagi adalah kita jangan menyerah dengan keadaan, kita berusaha yang kita what we deliver through the online teaching would be the same ya. Kalau misalnya kita melakukannya offline gitu. Tapi ada screen sharing seperti, jadi yang sebelumnya tidak kenal Zoom, tidak kenal Google Meet ya, lalu tidak kenal Microsoft Teams misalnya, jadi kemudian menggunakan ya. Kebetulan saya punya semua aplikasinya di laptop gitu ya, because for some meetings with the private company, with the company sometimes they use a different system, like kalau misalnya dengan Telkom mereka pakainya cloud gitu ya, kalau beberapa BUMN mereka pakainya Microsoft Teams, ada yang pakai Google Meet untuk private company and so on. Jadi kita menggunakan itu semuanya begitu ya untuk mempermudah. Nah, di sini juga kita bisa pakai fitur-fitur yang tadi, jadi sehingga kemudian ada student comprehension and engagement, itu yang paling penting ya. Nah, walaupun sebenarnya ada kendala, mungkin nanti akan I'm going to discuss about the more challenges ya setelah ini. Nah, ini adalah how to maximize online learning in a digital classroom ya. First assignments. This is the items that already need to discuss or to deliver with the students through online teaching or online class. First assignment, tell students about a new assignment during a video lecture, provide details and deadline via an LMS or similar platform. Kita bisa pakai apapun ya. Jadi bisa pakai Google Classroom, bisa pakai apa yang simple juga email ya begitu, atau bahkan kemudian WhatsApp, atau bisa pakai Line. Yang penting kita bisa the most important thing that how we engage the students with good communications so that our purpose about the competencies that they are going to get in our class itu will be accomplished. Itu yang paling penting begitu ya. Lalu kita bisa melakukan polls and quizzes. Ini di Zoom itu juga gitu. Kita bisa lakukan poll ya. Kita bisa bikin suatu kuesioner untuk tanya gimana kamu nyaman apa enggak dengan menggunakan ini. Gimana, how do you feel ya. Karena during this COVID-19 pandemic era actually we not only focus about how we deliver the method, but we need also to touch the student psychological part. Jadi nggak bisa cuman hanya ngomongin materi, tapi kita nggak tahu betapa sulitnya. Ya, it's so hard for them to have a good connections. Maybe some students have difficulties in having a credit or quota in their phone ya, in their laptops and so on. Karena because Indonesia is very large. For example, in my campus Universitas Padjadjaran, because we have a different kind background of students coming here, so when they go back to their homes, to their hometown, sometimes the place is so far from the town. Ya, jadi kita juga perlu mempertimbangkan itu posisinya di mana. Kita nggak bisa terus-terusan, let's say we have 16 meetings, kita memaksa untuk terus pakai face to face seperti ini ya, karena memang ini lebih memakan kuota. Jadi harus dikombinasikan dengan metode-metode yang lebih nyaman untuk anak-anak ya, dan lebih berterima. Jadi untuk saat ini memang saya pikir toleransi dari pengajar juga diperlukan begitu ya, to know how the students conditions in each class yang mungkin tidak sama. Lalu ada group work ya, kita juga bisa pakai group work. Di Zoom ini kita bisa break, kita punya breakout rooms ya. Saya sudah pakai, I apply this kind of Zoom ini selain untuk students in my class, also when I have a recruitment service ya to my client, because I'm handling the career center in Universitas Padjadjaran. One of our service is giving time for the company to have a recruitment, to have a campus recruitment for our students, for our alumni, begitu. Jadi sebelum pandemi kita lakukan offline ya, datang ke kampus, rekrut. Tapi begitu bentuknya online, kita harus menyesuaikan. Jadi saya juga pakai ini untuk ketika kita melakukan seleksi. Ya, kita bikin leaderless group discussions, kita bikin seleksi, kita gunakan breakout rooms ya, roomsnya yang banyak kita pecah-pecah. Itu juga bisa. Lalu untuk group works ya, ini group works tadi sudah. Berikutnya untuk collaborations ya. Jadi kita juga penting untuk menekankan konsep collaborations ya antar mahasiswa. Jadi misalnya ada satu project yang mereka kerjakan dalam satu kelompok, so we can use Google Docs. So we can trace every change the students have made actually on the writing. Jadi mereka yang bisa ganti-ganti itu kita bisa lihat ada trace-nya, bisa melakukan kerjasama, kolaborasi di sini ya. Lalu ada online study group, ini juga bisa ya, kita bisa outside of class actually we need to space our time to have more service to our students ya, not only in during classroom. Jadi di luar itu juga kelihatan kita harus bersedia ya untuk melakukan konsultasi atau apapun untuk mengetahui bagaimana kondisi anak didik kita, apakah mereka nyaman dengan kondisi ini dan lain sebagainya. Okay, this is a virtual office hours like one we are doing now, that we are using Zoom, and then we also can use Skype ya, atau FaceTime atau Google Meet ya, which is more friendly to others, especially in Indonesia. Okay, this is about challenges and opportunities. I will make it fast ya. Online teaching poses a different set of challenges for educators and students, but collaborations and communications make it easier to stay connected and engaged. Ini yang penting buat saya ya. Yang penting buat kita bagaimana how we try to make good collaborations and good communications between the students and the lecturers. Yes. So our lecture can be easily adapted or absorbed by the students. Itu yang lebih penting ya. Nah, di sini tadi sudah ya, kadangkala ada kesulitan sekali lagi ya, because we are facing the pandemic COVID-19 era yang which has been predicted before. Kita nggak pernah predik sebelumnya bisa seperti ini ya, tapi it forced us to know more about how delivering our material through digital platform ya, through online classroom. Jadi ada bagusnya juga ya, ada benefitnya juga untuk para pengajar. Okay, now I'm focusing about the general challenge that we are facing as lecturers ya, through delivering the method, online teaching method. Jadi kadang-kadang kita menghadapi passive students ya, studentsnya pasif, kadang-kadang videonya nggak mau di-on-kan gitu ya. Bu, saya nggak bisa di-on-kan karena ini deh. Mereka they have a variety of reasons ya, because they don't want to make their video on. Sebenarnya it's a must. Kalau in my classroom, it's a must to on your video during the class, during the face-to-face meeting. Saya wajibkan mereka semua. Jadi ready to have the material, karena mereka posisinya adalah posisi yang harus ready menerima pelajaran begitu ya. Lalu kemudian bagaimana dengan yang pasif-pasif? Nah, itu bisa kita tandai ya. Mungkin ada, itu pentingnya kemudian kita bisa ngobrol to have more communications about the things some students do not feel comfortable with ya. Ibu, ternyata saya susah nggak bisa Google Meet karena for some jaringan, for some internet connections ada yang nggak bagus pakai itu gitu ya, pakai salah satu platform, pakai salah satu platform. Ada yang lebih bagus dengan platform yang lain dan lain sebagainya. Kalau mahasiswanya nggak bilang ya saya nggak tahu gitu ya. Itu kemudian kita harus encourage student to talk politely about the obstructions ya, the obstacles they are facing during the class. Itu juga harus. Lalu staying connected with students ya. I believe that every students has their own problem at home ya. Jadi dan ketika mereka harus menghadapi kelas di rumah juga sometimes it's not easy conditions ya. Kadang-kadang mereka harus bantu orang tua, kadang-kadang mereka harus handle apa dan lain sebagainya begitu ya. Jadi kemudian kita harus bisa staying connected with students. Nah, untuk staying connected with students ini kita harus bisa how to make it familiar our stuff, our tools ya, yang kita gunakan untuk mereka. Bahkan di awal-awal saya kadang-kadang kasih tutorial juga, ini pakai Google Meet nih gini, untuk sharingnya tuh gini, pakai Zoom nih, karena nggak semuanya familiar ya. Jadi di awal-awal memang ada effort kita untuk melakukan itu. Lalu berikutnya adalah this is the last part, how to encourage collaborations ya. Di collaborations itu kadang-kadang kita juga bisa menggunakan problem based learning untuk for our class project ya. Jadi problem-based learning gives students the opportunity to apply course material to real-world case studies in a small group. Yeah, so we can use like breakout feature in Zoom, yeah, so that the students can discuss deeply about in their groups, yeah, about the topic they have given. Jadi itu juga bisa, ternyata itu juga bisa menolong siswa ya to build up their creativity and critical thinking skills. Yeah, I feel so like surprised when I have this kind of method. The idea comes from the students is amazing. Ya, untuk beberapa topik itu kita nggak tahu ketika mereka dilakukan kolaborasi, ternyata banyak ide-ide yang keluar secara amazing ya from the students dari topik-topik yang kita berikan. Jadi ternyata walaupun melalui online ya, kita berharap materi yang kita berikan tetap sama seperti offline dan all barriers or all obstacles ya that has been faced itu can be delayed atau can be reduced ya. Kita kurangi perlahan, setiap meeting itu selalu ada perbaikan. Gitu. So do I still have time?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Dr. Amalia.
Okay, so I'm gonna share you the Unpad LMS live. Okay. Oh, a minute. Okay. Sorry. Okay, this is learning management system that Universitas Padjadjaran has this time. Yeah, we call it live learning in virtual environment. This is very useful for the lecturer and the students. Actually, the system has been built up before the pandemic era, tapi not all the lecturers try to use it during for delivering their material ya. Jadi tidak semuanya menggunakan ini. Jadi masih ada yang blend pada saat itu. Tapi for this case, for current situations ya, so we are forced to use this kind of platform ya, yang ternyata sangat user friendly dan memudahkan. Gitu. This is the examples. We also have video in here about and then assignment tools, and then chat part with the students. Okay, I'm sorry, it takes quite time. Maybe because of the internet connections. Okay. This is right. Okay, maybe you can check it more with this website, right? Because maybe the internet connection, so it takes quite time to open the feature one by one. This is, for example, we have a course TPB Bahasa Inggris or tahap persiapan bersama Bahasa Inggris. This is about the descriptions of the subjects, and then this is the material. The material we deliver for each meeting. This is like team teaching, so I'm not teaching only by myself, but we have been there are some lecturers who has got involved for this subject, and also we have like video this, so you can take a look more about this maybe. Also we have like a tutorial, so we divide because this is a big class. This is the a mass subject for the students in university Bahasa Inggris for the first semester. So we divide the students into into small room ya. Setelah kita punya kelas masing-masing, terus kita bagi-bagi lagi, and then we have a tutorial like this. Ya, jadi mereka bisa diskusi apapun mengenai topik yang dibicarakan ya. Di sini mungkin terbukanya agak cukup lama. Ini ada video-video, bisa dilihat juga ada beberapa video yang saya handle juga ya mengenai strategi-strategi dan lain sebagainya. Mungkin ini bisa dilihat nanti. Oke, ya. Di sini adalah videonya. Mungkin karena because of the internet connections is really good right now, there's some like buffering or takes more time to open the video. Tapi bisa kemudian dicek melalui laman live Unpad begitu. I think that's all. Thank you for the opportunity, and I expect for the feedbacks coming from the audience. Thank you, Mr. Andri.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Rosaria, Mita, Amalia. Let's give again a big round of applause for Dr. Rosaria, Mita, Amalia. And then now we move to our next speakers. Dr. Willy, Ardian, Renandya, and Dr. Francisca Ivone will deliver their materials. Dr. Willy and Dr. Francisca, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Before I start, let us all give Ibu Amalia a big round of applause. Big hands for her. That was a very nice presentation, which I really enjoyed. My presentation is a little bit different. I'll be looking at technology and how technology can be used by you and me, and also by your students, to improve on their English language proficiency. So it's a very important topic for everyone. It's important for you, it's important for me, and also it's important for your students. During my presentation, Ibu Amalia, are you still there? Ibu Amalia?
Yes,
yes, very good. Yes, keep your video on and keep your microphone on as well. Ibu Francisca Ivone is also here. That's Ibu Yvonne, not Ibu Ivone.
Okay. Hi, Ibu Yvonne.
Yeah, she will also have her microphone and her video on. And during my presentation, I want to have a chat with you, asking you very easy questions so that we can have a little bit of engagement during the presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you something on the screen. This is about English language proficiency in Asia. I'm going to show you some countries there. There you go. So these are countries in Asia. We've got Korea, Thailand, Japan, Indonesia, the Philippines, and so on and so forth. Now, if you were to tell me which country has the most proficient population in terms of their English language skills, can you put your answer in the chat box? Put your answer in the chat box just very quickly. Would you say it's Malaysia or is it Singapore? If you say Singapore, that's good because I'm going to buy you a ticket for you to come and visit Singapore.
So I'm going to Singapore then.
Yes.
I put Singapore.
You put Singapore. Okay. Where would you put Indonesia then? Where would you put Indonesia?
Yeah, because the users, actually, the users of the biggest user, one of the biggest user English language in this area is, I think, Singapore.
Singapore, okay. Yes, I think you're right. Singapore is probably right there at the top. What about Indonesia, Bu Ivan? Number 10? Number 5? Somewhere in the middle?
A little bit above Vietnam, probably.
Okay. Okay, interesting, because Vietnam is number 7. If you look at the results there, Singapore and Malaysia and the Philippines are at the top, and then you've got India, South Korea, Hong Kong, Vietnam, and then we've got Indonesia there, right below Vietnam, which is very interesting. Taiwan and Japan. Number 8 is not too bad. This is number 8 in Asia, yeah, not in the world. Number 8 in Asia. At least you're better than Japan. Okay, now, I think we understand that, you know, English continues to be important in many different places in the world. And what is interesting is that our students, mahasiswa atau siswa kita, they continue to struggle with English. And teachers, you know, people like Ibu Amalia, Bu Ifon, and other teachers there have tried their best to help the students to improve on their English language proficiency. We have tried different methods of teaching. We have tried different innovative, you know, ways of teaching language, of engaging the students, of supporting students in the learning process. But very often the results are still not up to our expectations. We have also tried, you know, changing the curriculum. Every 5 or 10 years, we've got a new curriculum introduced by the government. And I think you and me will agree that the students are still, you know, not up to our expectation. We have also retrained our English teachers as well. I think this is an ongoing thing. English teachers need to attend courses in order to improve on their English language proficiency. And more recently, we also asked teachers to also add or incorporate 21st century skills like thinking skills, you know, creative thinking skills, collaborative skills, and many other skills that are important in the 21st century. What about technology? We have also tried to make use of technology, especially now. Everyone is using technology. The question is this. Yes, with technology, we can continue to teach. I agree. I think Amalia made a very interesting point there. When you use technology, we should also try to do our best to make sure that the lessons go very well and the lessons are well received by our students. But the big question continues to be this: will technology solve our English language problems that our students continue to experience when learning English in the classroom? Now, interestingly, if you look at the research literature, banyak penelitian yang sudah dilakukan, hundreds of research studies on the use of technology in language learning. So please pay attention. I am talking here about technology in language learning dalam konteks belajar bahasa. Some of the insights that we have learned from research on the link, on the relationship between technology and language learning is very interesting. One, you know, idea that I've seen a lot is, yes, it can support language learning. The keyword here is, yes, it can support language learning. Number two, it can enhance language learning. And number three, it can transform language learning. We can do things that we were not able to do without technology. We can do things in an entirely different way. I agree. These are all very nice things to hear and to know. But the big question continues to be, will technology improve our students' English language proficiency? I'm going to repeat that one more time. Will or can technology help improve our English language students' proficiency? If they are starting from low, you know, elementary or low intermediate, will they be able to increase their proficiency to upper intermediate or advanced level? So that is what I want to know. Let me now, before I move on, let me now show you a couple of recent research studies that have looked at the use of technology in the English language classroom. Now, this one is kind of interesting. It was published last year, 2019, in one of the top journals in our field. It's called System. And the title is also very interesting. The more technology, the better. A comparison of teacher-student interaction in high and low technology use in elementary EFL classrooms in China. So EFL classroom will be, you know, elementary will be like SMP. Yeah, so lower proficiency classrooms. And the study looks at two groups of teachers. One uses a lot of technology, the other one uses a little technology. This is what it looks like. So primary schools in rural China, di kota kecil atau di desa begitu, and the study involves two groups of teachers. One group of teachers use quite a bit of technology, and the other group use less technology. And the researchers are interested in understanding, in observing, in finding out what is happening in the classroom. The interaction between the teachers and the students. Is the quality of the lesson, is the quality of the interaction, is the kind of questions that the teachers ask actually more, supportive of learning than those teachers who don't use technology. The result. Well, Amalia, what do you think? Do you think the teachers who use technology tend to ask, to do, better in their teaching, or is it just the same, do you think?
Because it depends not only one factor, not only about the technology, I think.
Amalia, Ibu Amalia is very smart. That's a very smart answer. Yes, the answer is it depends, but let's look at the results from this particular study. Very interesting. The results, number satu, there's no difference whether the teachers use technology or a lot or they use a little technology, they're the same. The same in what sense? They use minimal English. So both teachers use a small, very little English in the classroom in their teaching. And number three, they ask basic questions, the kind of questions that teachers have always asked. There's no difference in the way they ask questions. They don't ask higher order questions. They ask very simple questions like, what time is it now? What day is it? The kind of questions that the students already know the answer. More importantly, the kind of feedback that the teachers give in both classrooms, the same. Very little corrective feedback. So that is very interesting. That is one study. Yeah. Let me move on to another study. The other one is very interesting because this one is a summary. It's a summary of research studies that have been done for the past 20 years. The title is Technologies for Foreign Language Learning, a review of technology types and their effectiveness. So it's a summary of past research studies. Very, very interesting. The authors or the researchers examine more than 350 empirical studies that look at the effect of technology on language learning. They are interested in looking at the results of those people who use technology for language learning and those people who use traditional technologies for language teaching purposes. The results again, Bu Francisca, what do you think? Bu Francisca Ivone?
Okay.
Interesting, isn't it? I think this is something we all want to know, right? Yes, technology is out there. Does it really help improve language proficiency? Yes?
Not really.
Yes, no?
Not the technology itself.
Not really.
Not the
there
technology.
You go. This is the results. To me, this is very interesting. Interesting that technology apparently has very small effect. It's interesting also from a researcher's point of view, because then you can work harder, you can design different types of research and see if you can see any interesting impact on the use of technology in language education. So overall, the effect is limited, sedikit sekali. Yeah, let me say that again, the effect is limited. Now, the effect or the strongest effect is found in the area of pronunciation. So that's good news. If you want to improve on your pronunciation, the technology is there. You should make use of it if you want to speak very, very well, like Ibu Amalia or Ibu Yvonne later. Now, technology also enables students, ini siswa yang nggak suka berbicara di kelas, Ibu Amalia, apparently technology like, the chat function of WhatsApp or Facebook or any other platforms can actually encourage students to produce more language in the classroom. So that is some of the interesting effect of technology in the language classroom. So I've just shared two studies, very interesting studies. I think a lot of studies are going on at the moment. People are still trying to find out whether and to what extent technology can help improve English language proficiency. To me, as a language teacher, what is important for me is whether something, whether a tool, whether it's technology or different ways of teaching, can eventually help students improve on their English language proficiency. So now here's the big question for you. Can technology improve second language proficiency? I think Ibu Yvonne has already answered that. The answer is yes. If, yeah, yes, if, and only if it is based on good language pedagogy. Yeah, please underline this. This is probably the most important takeaway from today's lesson or from today's presentation is yes, technology can be useful. Yes, technology can improve L2 proficiency if it is based on good language pedagogy. Okay, now let me tell you a story. At the end of the story, at the end of my story, please tell me whether my story is based on fact or fiction. Very easy, yeah? Fact, fakta atau fiksi. Let me begin. Once upon a time, gitu ya Bu ya, Bu Amalia? If you tell a story, you start with once upon a time. So there's a group of, SMP students, if you like, from Korea. Now they've been studying in Korea. They've been studying English in Korea for several years, but they find that the English language proficiency is not good yet. They have difficulty expressing themselves in English. They have difficulty in having a conversation with other people who speak the language. So that's the situation. So there are 5 of them there. And our main character, ini pemeran utamanya, biasanya kan ada begitu ya, ada pemeran utama. Our pemeran utama is Hyun Jun, yang paling kecil. Namanya Mas Hyun Jun itu. So they decided to go to California and they enrolled themselves in a language center there, the American English College. And all the lessons there are taught by native English teachers. Unfortunately, our main character, what's the name again, Ibu? Hyun Jun, yeah? Our main character, Hyun Jun, had an accident. He broke his leg and he had to be hospitalized. Fortunately, he brought with him his mobile gadget, his tablet, his iPad, and things like that. So while he is in hospital, he's got nothing much to do but to turn on his internet, and he started watching the cartoon movies from Disneyland, and he would even go on Netflix and watch his favorite movies there. Meanwhile, in the meantime, his friends are having a great time exploring the city, doing sightseeing, and also attending lessons in the classroom. Taught by native speakers, yeah, of English. Okay, 3 months later. So they've been there for 3 months, and Hyun Jun actually got better. He recovered, and he decided to attend the last lesson. The last lesson just before the exam. And then when the exam results were announced, who do you think got the highest score, Ibu Amalia? Remember, this is a story.
Based on the story, it should be Eugene.
It should be Hyun Jun, yes. Hyun Jun. Yes, Hyun Jun is the guy who got the highest score. That is.
He's the main actor.
He is the main actor. That's why he has the highest score. Now, in fact, he scored so well on the test, and he missed hanya salah satu. He just missed one item, one question in the test. And when people ask him, Hyun Jun, you did so well in your test. How come you missed that one item? And this is what he said. Oh, no. When people ask him how come he got a very good score, he said this: I don't know how I did it. I just used my feeling, just like that. I want you to remember the word feeling. I think that word feeling is very, very important. I just used my feeling, just like that. And then he continued to say, actually, if I had not attended the last lesson, I would have gotten a perfect score. So it was because he came to the last lesson, he got a little bit confused, and he missed that one question in the test. Now the question is this: is this based on fact or fiction, Ibu Amalia? Ini cerita dongeng.
Which one? The whole story or
Yes, the whole
last segment?
story. Yes, the whole story.
It
The
can be
storyteller is real. The storyteller is me.
No, I mean, maybe the story can be real, but the packaging can be in a fiction one.
That's very good. Yes, this is fictional. Yes, this is based on fiction, but the story that happens there is not too far away from what can really happen if you do, the kind of things that Hyunjun did while he was in hospital. So the question is this: is it possible to acquire language the way Hyunjun did? The answer is yes, it is. This is what happens. Hyunjun. Ini sekarang sudah masuk sedikit ke teori ya. Now Hyunjun is surrounded for 3 months by meaningful language, the kind of language that is interesting, the kind of language that is meaningful, because that's the kind of movies and cartoons that he enjoyed listening and watching while he was in hospital. The other important point to remember is this. Now, Hyunjun got to hear, got to see the same words, the same phrases again and again and again for the whole 3 months. And then the other point that is important for us to remember is that there is intensity of learning. 3 months, he is flooded basically by a lot of language nutrition. Now, compare this with what typically happen in the school situations. Students usually spend 3 years, or if you include high school, that is 3 years plus 3 years, 6 years. That's way too long. If you can reduce that to, to something like 1 year or 2 years, I think the results of learning will be much more substantial. And finally, very important lesson for us to remember is that Hyunjun did not use sophisticated technology. It's a simple technology. You just need a gadget, you just need an internet connection, and you just need to have access to good movies and good information that is available on the internet. So the next 10 or 15 minutes of my presentation, I'll be looking at this. So these are 5 big ideas that researchers have found to be important in facilitating, in supporting language learning with or without technology. Let me say that again. Whether you use technology or even if you don't use technology, these 5 big ideas from research are going to be continue to be important. Yeah. Number 1 is input. Number 2 is noticing. Number 3 is frequency, social interaction, and finally motivation. So I'm going to go through this one by one, and for each one I will explain what it means. I will also give an example. Maybe I'm going to ask the Yufan to give an example of the kind of technological tools that can be used to support these 5 ideas. Okay, let me begin with the first one. SLA stands for second language acquisition. So the key idea number 1 is called input. Input simply means language, in this case English, that you see and that you hear. Yeah, one more time. Input, it refers to language that you see and that you hear. In a simple language, input is what we would refer to as nutrition, language nutrition. Just like, kids need a lot of food and nutrition and vitamins to grow. When we learn a new language, we also need a lot of language nutrition, a lot of language vitamins, if you like.
Yeah, Mr. Willy, I really love with the term language nutrition.
Yes, it's
really
very healthy.
Right.
Yes, it makes you healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the theory says language acquisition happens when students receive a lot of language nutrition. The key word here is massive. Just like Hyunjun. Hyunjun was surrounded almost 24 hours a day for 3 whole months. And he got a lot of nutrition there. And the language will have to be comprehensible. You need to understand what you see and what you hear. Otherwise, you won't learn very much. And number 3, another important idea is it has to be interesting. It's not just interesting, but compelling. Compelling is super, super interesting. Something that keeps you watching or keeps you reading for a period of time. In other words, when you start the movie, you continue watching it until you get to the end. So because it's so interesting, you don't want to stop in the middle. So this is one big idea that need a lot of application in the context of English as a foreign language in Indonesia. Let me give you an example. This is a novelist. The name is Lisa Lee, and she shared with a lot of people about the magic of reading. Reading is a form of language nutrition. When you read a lot, you receive a lot of language input, and you receive a lot of language nutrition as well. And this is what she says. Remember the word massive. Massive means a lot. And her advice to us is this: read 1,000 books and your words will flow like a river. You may be thinking, but really that's not possible. 1,000 books, that will take me forever. There are people out there who actually spend time reading 1,000 books. The answer, interestingly, is yes. Now, here is an example of a teenager from Korea. She actually read, 1,000 books. Actually, when the researcher asked her mother, and the mother said, no, not 1,000 books. That's not true. Actually, this girl read 4,000 books. 4,000 English books. And she started reading when she was in grade 4, kelas 4 SD. And she continued reading until she was in secondary school, kelas 8 itu SMA 1 ya. And by that time, her English was so good and she was able to speak English so well that she won so many English language competition held in Korea. Very good. Here is an example. Student from Thailand. That's the name. Try pronouncing the name, Bu Yvonne. Pichayapao. Yes, it's a bit difficult. She's a very nice girl. And, she told me that she used to watch a lot of cartoons. Her favorite was watching cartoon movies from the Disneyland. She was 23 years old. Now she is a graduate student and she read a lot of cartoons. Her IELTS score, 8. Very good. Now here are some examples of how technology can help. If you are really, really serious about helping your students to improve on their English language proficiency, then technology comes in handy. There are digital books out there. Most of these are free for you to download and to watch. Podcasts, YouTube videos, talking books, and there are free resources on the internet as well. This one is completely free. I think it belongs to the Asia Foundation, and this site has hundreds and hundreds of books that are freely available for people to download. Here are some examples of talking books on YouTube. You get to read the text as well, and you can also listen to the conversation that happens in there. Now here's another free resource that you can use to increase the amount of language nutrition for your students. This one is really, really good. It's called ELLLO, 3 L's, yeah, ELLLO. Now this website has more than 1,000, I would say, more than 1,000 free. Everything there is free. Free video conversations, free podcasts of people talking about different areas of topics of interest. I would suggest if you are teaching English, now this one is very, very good resource for you. Now, if you are thinking of using, of asking your students to read regularly, and you don't want to worry about where to find the materials on the internet, there is one here that you can sort of subscribe. However, this is not free. It's called X Reading. It has about 1,000 graded readers, easy, interesting stories built in. And it also has a built-in LSM, learning management system, LMS. So, you know, with this system, you can track your students' progress, you can assess their understanding, you can guide your students in choosing the kind of books that they want to read, and you can also assign different types of activities to your students. The thing is, this one is not free because all the books there are copyrighted. Yeah. So if you're interested, please write a note to me and I'll be able to connect you with the owner. And you may be able to get very, very good, you know, pricing. Right now, the program is now used in a number of universities in Indonesia, including Universitas Malang, and then UNESA Surabaya, and then Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, and some other universities in Indonesia. Okay, at this point, let me just stop here. Bu Ifan, maybe you can share one or two things about how we can help our students to make use of technology to increase the amount of language nutrition. Just very brief, Bu Ifan.
Yes, so find resources on the internet that are within your level. So when we are, can I share my screen, Pak Willy?
Yes, you can.
Or,
yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can if you want to.
Yeah, okay. Let me just share a few slides. All right, so this is my first one. So try to find something that fit your level of proficiency. This may sound easy, but it's actually not that easy to find your right level of proficiency. Okay, I will show you how to. So let me go to the next slide. So this is one example of website that students can go to, or, oops, sorry. Oops. Let me go back, yeah.
Yes,
this is the kind of website that students can go to. Yeah, room to read. So as you can see that we have levels then. And students can try one level. If it's too difficult for them, then they can go down one level. If it's easy for them, they can go up one level. So if we go to the, to the website itself, so it will look something like this. It may be too easy for your students, so I'm not sure about the level of your students, but this is an example of that kind of website that we can go to. Yeah, websites that will help our students find their own level of comprehension. Pak Willy shared X Reading earlier, right? X Reading is not free, but this one is free. So if we can go to this free credit readers, and this is supposed to be B2, not C2. Yeah, so you can find materials within these levels, A2, A1, A2, A, B1, B2. Yeah. So let me try the B2 one. It's not the C2. So this is based on word level. Yeah, so students, if they want to know how good they are or the level of vocabulary that they are now in. So for example, Christmas Carol here, this is 4,000 word level. It means that within that particular text, there are 4,000 most frequently used words in English, which are used. Okay, so so it will look like this. And if the students know 4,000 words in English, most frequently used words in English, then they will be able to read this level very comfortably. If they know more, then they can go to higher levels. Now, how do we check our students' level of vocabulary? So let me, whoops, bear with me for a while. Lex Tutor. Okay, so we have tests here, and the test is called vocabulary level test. Vocabulary level test for receptive. So this is for reading or listening. If your students want to know something about their level of vocabulary, they can go here and then they can practice, of course, or they can just go directly to the test and find out whether they are within that level. Yeah, so they can just write, so randomly, I'll do this randomly, yeah, because just randomly, I didn't even read it, just want to show you what it looks like. Okay, random answer. You will have to do this properly later. 2 and 3. So I've completed the first 2000 level. So let me score my test. Whoops, record the score, yes. Okay. Now, this is the results of my test. So for the level of 2000 words, I only know 11% of the words in that level. To be able to be in one particular level, you need to know at least 83% of the words within that level. So if this shows that it shows 90, for example, 3K, 87, then your level is in 3K. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very easy to do this, you know, by yourself. Or we can use the 5-finger rules. Very simple one. So I'm going to make it bigger so that you can see how did we do this. So students can pick one page in the middle of a book, yeah, and then one page, read it for 1 minute, and while raising their fingers. So if they find one word that they do not understand the meaning of, they raise 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. Okay, so the description here is, if the students can only find 1 or 2 words, that's too easy for them. 1 word, yeah, 0 or 1 word, too easy for them. If they can find 2 to 3 within that level, then that is their level. The book is at that within their level. If they can find 4 words which they do not understand, then it's a little bit challenging. Try to go down 1 level. 5 too difficult. Find easier one. Yeah. So when it comes to reading, students can do it that way. When it comes to listening, listening is a little bit more difficult, especially if you do not have the text. Yeah, if you can do reading while listening, it's better because the text will be more comprehensible. But if you do not, then go down 2 levels, 1 or 2 levels of your reading. Okay, so that's for me for the time being. But do you want to continue?
Yes, excellent. Yeah. Okay, the key point, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Reading is good, listening is good, because that is the main source of your language nutrition. But what Bu Yvonne is trying to tell us is that what you hear and what you read will have to be within your level. It has to be at the right level. If you don't understand what you read, if you don't understand what you're listening, then you're not learning anything. You don't learn very much from listening to something that you don't really understand very much, or to reading something that you don't understand very much. Yeah. So your understanding, comprehension will have to be at the 90 and above. You need to understand almost everything there. Is it possible? The answer is yes, it is possible. You need to find easier materials. So easy is good. Okay, let me continue. The second principle is very straightforward, actually. It's about noticing. Yeah, about noticing. The idea here is this. Nutrition alone, input alone is not enough. You need to do something else. You need to pay attention. You need to take notes of certain language features that people use when they speak English. Otherwise, it's very easy for us to miss that altogether. And English is very tricky because there are a lot of small things that you need to pay attention to. Now, if you don't use these small things in your language, in your speaking and writing, then people will say something like, okay, your grammar is not very good, or your pronunciation is not very good, because you miss that small things. So the lesson here is, or the key point here is, you need to also pay attention to what you hear and what you understand. In English, I think there are a lot of small features that are not very easy to pay to notice, like the third person singular. Bu Amalia teaches in Bandung. Teaches. You cannot just say teach. yeah, teaches in Bandung. Yesterday, she went to Jakarta in order to, meet somebody at the Ministry of Education. You need to use the past tense there. Gender also is very important. In Bahasa Indonesia, dia refers to anyone who is not either male or female, but in English you need to use either he or she. So that can also be very tricky. Countable nouns is really, really difficult, for most people. So you just need to pay attention that coffee is an uncountable noun. Hair is an uncountable noun. Yeah, she has a lot of hair. You cannot say she has a lot of hairs. You can't do that. Okay, I'm going to give you a quiz, Ibu Amalia. I'm going to show you a short sentence. Try to remember the sentence, yeah? Are you ready, Bu Amalia? Yes, 1, 2, 3, yeah? There you go. Can you see that? Yes, can you say that again for me?
She looks stunning on her own blue jeans.
Very good. She is very good because she is paying attention to the plural S there. Here, blue jeans. Yeah, it's not blue jean, but blue jeans. The S will have there. Why is that important? This is because this is blue jeans and this is blue jean. Yeah, cuman satu. So the S can actually make a difference in terms of the meaning that you're trying to convey. So blue jeans, this one is blue jean. More example, the news is or are. Well, Amalia, I'm testing your language now.
Maybe it's time for Mr. Andri to be tested for the second turn. Okay, my pleasure. My pleasure. Just go on.
Yes, the news is or are.
The news is.
Exactly, but it's so difficult, isn't it, for your students? News is plural. No, it's not plural. News happens to be, written in that way, but actually it's a singular noun. It's an uncountable noun. So it has to be news is. Again, if you're not paying attention, if you are not asking your students to pay attention, it's very easy to miss this. Deeply saddened, yes, you can say that, but you can't say highly saddened. Highly competent, yes. Deeply competent, you can't. Why? No answer. There's no answer here. You just need to look at it, hear it again and again, and then sort of, okay, now I remember. Highly respected, yes, but not deeply respected. Reason, there's no reason for this. Commit a crime. Ini apa itu collocations, commit a crime, yeah. But you can't say, make a crime. Maybe 10 years from now, if enough number of people say make a crime, then eventually it will be accepted. But right now, I think people tend to say commit a crime. Yeah, you play sports, you play football, but you go swimming. You don't play swimming. Why? I don't know. Okay, so here is how technology can be used. I'm talking about a very simple technology here that can be used by the teachers to highlight, to get students' attention. You can use underline, different color, different font type, different images as well. Now, these are all available on, on very simple word processing, program that you have on your computer. So use this to highlight, to get students' attention. The kind of attention that is needed, otherwise the students will just not pay attention and then they will forget. Yeah, it's a very simple idea. Let's look at this word. Mas Andri now. Bu Amalia is tired of responding to my question. Mas Andri, yes. Yeah. I think you will often hear that. How do you pronounce this word? So say it out loud, please.
This one?
The word on the right hand, yes.
Develop.
One more time.
Develop.
Louder, yang keras.
Develop.
Yes. Now, okay. I think Bu Amalia, Bu Yvonne, and I will agree that the stress, the way he pronounces the word develop, right? Yeah, Pak, Mas Andri, develop,
yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Develop. Yeah. Actually, the standard pronunciation is not develop, but
develop.
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 Yes, Pak Herlan got it right. It's develop. Now, how do I get Pak Andri's attention so that next time he will remember? So you can just use a simple thing like this.
Okay.
Develop.
Yeah, so I'm highlighting the middle one here because that's where the stress is. So Pak siapa namanya tadi? Pak Andri.
Andri, yeah.
Pak Andri, yes. Can you say this again now? The second one.
Develop.
Yes, very good. Say it one more time.
Develop.
Oh, no. You're back to the first one. The second one.
Okay. Develop.
Very good. Yes, I think you need to say it 10 times later after the session. And then you remember, yeah? Remember the middle one here, big, colorful, yeah? In big letters. So this is how you get the attention of the students. Andri, try again. How to pronounce this word again? Don't check Google, just say it.
Debt.
One more time.
Debt.
One more time. Everyone, please look at him.
Debt.
Yes.
Okay. Debt.
Yes.
Could you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, I hear clearly, and this is what you say. Debt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at my mouth. Debt.
Debt.
Yes, and that is not the right pronunciation.
Debt.
Yes, the pronunciation is debt.
Debt.
Yeah. Mas Andri, please say this 10 times after the session is over. And then you will remember. Look at that big T there at the end. It's debt. Not like this.
Okay. Debt.
When your lips are close together, you got it wrong. It has to be like this. Can I see your teeth again?
Debt.
Debt. Yes, very good. Nice pair of nice teeth you have there. Okay, images. Again, images are free on the internet. You can use a lot of images to help, get the students' attention so that they remember. My example here is the meaning of the word limpid. Limpid is clear and transparent. Show the students this picture of these babies with very bright, very bluish, and very clear and transparent eyes. That is what limpid means. Here is another one. A very nice image, very clear. Yeah. So the use of images are very important for language learning purposes because the association that you build between the word, its meaning, and the picture becomes very, very powerful tool for learning. Yeah. Nomor 3. Number 3 is very easy. Diulang ya. Nomor 1 tadi adalah first principle is language nutrition. It's important. Number 2 is you need to pay attention as well. And number 3 is frequency. Frequency. You have to see a word, the pronunciation, the phrases, the sentences again and again and again and again and again. And then you will know how to do it. So frequency of encounters determines what you learn, basically. In other words, this is the again and again principle. Yeah, Pak Andri, after the session is over, say the word debt 10 times today. Tomorrow, say it again 10 times. And then you remember, basically. Here is a real question that I received from a teacher, that I hear from a teacher. The teacher asked me this question. My students speak English using their Bahasa Indonesia structure or Bahasa Indonesia grammar. So instead of where is Diana, Ibu Diana, are you there? Where is Diana? And my students would say, Diana, where is? Diana di mana? Nice, isn't it? In Bahasa Indonesia, we can do it both ways. Yeah. Di mana Diana, okay. Diana di mana is also okay, right? Either one is okay, but in English, you can't. In English, it has to be where is Diana, where is Andri, where is Amalia? Now, the teacher asked me, Pak Willy, how do you explain this? What is the theory behind this? Why is my students making this kind of mistake? Jawaban saya tidak langsung. Jawaban saya adalah memberi pilihan jawaban. Ini.
Because, no.
Nah, ini.
Yeah.
Choose one.
I agree.
Yeah, Mas Andri, choose one. Bu Amalia, choose one. Bu Yvonne, choose one.
Number 4.
You choose number 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
If
Your
I
answer?
I
also
choose
can
number
choose-
6.
Yeah.
Choose number 6. Okay.
Yeah, maybe they adopted like word Englishes like a post-colonial mind.
Number six is like all of the above or none of the above. Which one? Which one?
Number 5.
Number 5. Yes, number 5 is what I have in mind. Number 5 is frequency, basically. The answer is very simple. The students make that kind of mistake simply because they have not seen, they have not heard enough. Yeah, Mas Andri, jangan lupa 10 times say that.
That.
And yes, and tomorrow say that again 10 times. Yeah, if you do it again and again, you remember. So your job is 2. Ya, satu that, yang satunya adalah develop. So this is what is called frequency effect. Okay, if you hear the same thing again and again, every day, every week, every month, you will remember and you'll know how to say it, you'll know how to do it. Now here is a real example from the literature. Dari hasil penelitian, ini ditemukan hal seperti ini. This is an example of some of the most successful learners of English in China. Now these are students who are so good that they are, taking part, or they took part in the national English language competition and they won first prize. And what do they say? This is what they say. Yeah, they spend hours and hours doing this practice, frequency. Yeah, they do it again and again. They listen again and again. They read again and again until they become very good at it. There's no other way. If you want to become good, this is the way to go. Ini salah satu the student who was interviewed by the researcher. Now this is what she said. I was so slow in the beginning and I had to listen to it many more times. Yeah, the keyword here is many more times. Pak Andri, 10 times, yeah, today. Tomorrow, another 10 times. And I gradually developed some feel for the language. Ingat kata feel? Bu Amalia masih ingat ya? Hyun Jun itu juga mengatakan hal yang sama.
Feeling.
I use my feeling. Ini bukan perasaan feeling yang lain itu, tapi feeling of the language. Now, if you hear the language again and again, every day, every week, you will develop this language feeling, the linguistic feeling, the linguistic instinct, if you like. I feel that I just have a lot of patterns, language patterns. Now, these are sentences, these are phrases swimming in my head. Not literally swimming in my head, but these are words, phrases ready. They're ready for me to use when the opportunity arises. So lines from movies often naturally pop out. So this is what happens when you experience the positive frequency effect. Technology, banyak sekali. Yeah, Bu Yvonne, if you can share some of the technology that will help students to, to engage in repeated practice, reading, viewing, listening, anything. Just very brief, Bu Yvonne, if there's anything that comes to mind.
There are some apps actually that can help students with pronunciation, for example. So they can just click sound. The name of the app is Sound.
Yes.
So I'm going to put it. So that app will help students focus on their pronunciation, so they can do and redo it again. So there are also apps like Orai. Orai is for speaking practice. So when students want to present something, they can record their presentation in Orai, and the program, because it is an AI program, artificial intelligence infused program. So the program will be able to give students feedback on their performance, like they are going too fast, they lack of fillers, they use more too many fillers, and that sort of thing.
Yes.
So basically, technology is very good for drill and practice because it never gets tired of it. Yeah, it can be. Yeah. So with for writing, for example, simple grammar and spelling checker will be good for students to use so that they can monitor their own sentence production or language production.
So there are a lot of applications out there. Many of these applications are free. But the key thing to remember is, are these applications useful for you in improving on your ability to pronounce words more clearly, more accurately, and things like that? Yeah, so the key thing here is seeing the words, seeing the sounds, or hearing the sounds again and again until you become very good at it. What I have examples here are online news, for example. News nowadays tend to be repeated again and again on the internet. So listening again is good, although it can be very boring as well. But the key thing here is you get to listen again and again. This is another application that can be very useful, the natural reader. Here's another example of what you can do to get the students to do things again and again until they reach the required standard. So the key thing here is that the students, we need to do it again first time, and then if not so good, then they have to do it again until they become very good at it. And finally, they get to upload their project or their presentation on YouTube. Yep. Okay, so we have looked at input, and then number 2 is noticing, and number 3 is repetition, basically, or frequency effect. Number 4 is social interaction. And this one is very straightforward. So once you have accumulated, once you have absorbed a lot of language nutrition, once your language has become stronger, then it's a wonderful time for you to try out the language, to talk to people, to interact with other people, either your friends here in Indonesia, in the classroom, or those friends outside the classroom, or even from overseas. Yeah. So this is an opportunity for you to make use of what you have learned, to express your thoughts, to express your feelings using the English language as a tool of communication. Again, the technology is out there: social media, Facebook, wikis, Google Docs, web-based collaborative writing tools, and all these are now available for you to engage your students in a more authentic interaction using the language. Even Zoom can be used now because you can use the free versions of Zoom. For 45 minutes, you can practice talking to people from all over the world, basically. Padlet is also a very powerful tool. The free version is free, and a lot of teachers are using this to increase the amount of talking interaction between the teachers and the students, and also between students and students. We found anything else to add to increase the amount of interaction?
In Indonesian condition, I would say something very simple like social media apps. Use Telegram or WhatsApp, so simple apps like that. And there are many apps that can facilitate collaboration between students. And the collaboration can be in so many different forms. They can talk to each other. They can collaborate in drawing something or sharing materials or writing together. Yeah, so that sort of apps.
So a lot of opportunities out there with or without technology. Now, with technology nowadays, it's in fact much easier for students to interact. If they are not, they are not excited about talking, they can do the interaction through writing. I think Amalia mentioned early on that very often in an online environment, students are very quiet. They don't want to speak, which is fine. Maybe they're not ready yet, so they can do some writing instead using the chat rooms and things. The last principle, again, this one is very easy to understand. Motivation is so important. In fact, people have suggested that there are 3 things that are most important in education. The first one is motivation. The second one is motivation. The last one, Amalia, very easy. The last one is motivation. Yes, she's very good. Motivation is so important. Without motivation, the students will not learn very much. So it's that desire to want to learn with you that is very important. I think we know this, and in particular in language learning, experts have suggested that learners with sufficient motivation can achieve a working knowledge of the second language. So without this motivation, it makes learning really, really difficult. Things like this that you see on the screen, can be used to increase motivations. The use of Kahoot, for example, in a classroom will not increase students' proficiency. I don't believe so, no. But the use of Kahoot and quizzes and Mentimeters and things like that can increase students' motivation. They become more excited. They become more interested in learning. But this alone does not improve proficiency. What improves proficiency actually is the input, the interaction that they do, and also the noticing. Yeah, this one makes learning more interesting in the classroom. Now, this one is also a very interesting way of engaging your students. Give them a small task and tell them to do a small project using, a platform like digital storytelling. And they'll spend hours and hours and hours doing this, very happy, and they're very excited, and they enjoy the process very much. Okay. Ibu Amalia, remember the story that I told you early on, and the pemeran utama, what's the name again?
Hyun-jun.
Hyun-jun, very good.
Hyun-jun.
She's very good.
I think I will be remembering about the story.
Yes, Hyun-jun. Yes. Now, okay, this is the main lesson of my presentation today. Technology can be very simple. It doesn't have to be expensive. In fact, it can be very cheap, and you can use whatever technology that you already have available. Now, what is important is for you to make use of that technology with the right language learning pedagogy. And language learning pedagogy tells us very clearly that you need a lot of language nutrition in order to improve on your proficiency. You need to pay attention to some of the features that you can see in the input. And you have to do this again and again and again until you become very good at it. And then you try to use it for talking, for interacting with other people. And finally, if you have just enough motivation, I think you'll be able to have a higher level of proficiency in the English language. Buifon, is there anything else that you want to add before we move on to the question and answer?
Not for the time being, but I'll wait for the question and answer.
Okay, so questions and answers. Anyone? Just raise your hand. If you have any questions, turn on the microphone and speak. I promise that I will not be correcting your English. Don't worry. Yeah, but Bu Amalia probably will correct your grammar, but not me. Yes, back to you, Pak Andri.
Okay, let's give once again a big round of applause for Dr. Willy and Dr. Francisca.
Yay! For the great presentations.
Yeah. And I get all wrong, Dr. Willy. Actually, I'm an English lecturer, English literature. I focus on literature, on discourse, critical discourse, and sex and gender. So I'm not too focused on linguistic. I am not a linguistic lecturer. So so sorry about that. Because like my supervisor at Monash University from India, so like they said to me, like Indian English accent, like I don't tell you anything. And at Gajah Mada University, they said I don't do that with Japanese accent, because they said that the global spread of English has resulted in the emergence of a diverse range of post-colonial varieties around the world, like word Englishes, bring your mother tongue in literature of thinking. but I will say that 10 times for now and for
Yes,
tomorrow,
that.
because I feel so good when I said that. Okay, very well. Now we come to question and answer session. You can type what you want to ask into the question box in your Zoom control panel. Don't forget to mention your name and state to which speaker you address your question. Or if you rather ask in person, you can also use the icon on the control panel to raise your hand to indicate that you have a question or a comment. And once you raise your hand, and someone will unmute your line so that you can ask your question directly. And I give an option. You prefer use the second option because it's a chance for you to ask to our speaker directly. So, any question, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
Student,
How about
teachers?
Vintani? Yes, I think Vintani is ready to ask question.
Okay. Ada pertanyaan? Silakan mahasiswa-mahasiswi.
We have one on the chat column.
Okay.
Saya agak pakai laptop dan HP soalnya. Operator. Okay, we have question from Alivia Zetira, right? Nurul Alivia Zetira. Good morning, I'm Nurul Alivia from English Literature. Last week I joined a national symposium held by British Council, and Mr. Willy talked about improving English language teachers' proficiency. According to what you said there, proficiency of teacher is not equal of effective teaching. I've been working at my proficiency for about a year, and I'm stuck in B2, and I can say that class doesn't help much for me. So I did it by myself using all of the methods you have already mentioned it today, but seem like I'm still stuck. My question is, how can I move from B2 to C1, even C2 using technology?
Okay.
Is,
very good question. Yes.
Everyone? Okay.
So you are stuck at B2. B2 is very good actually. B2 is somewhere. I think with B2 you will be able to say a lot of things in English. If you want to go up from B2 to C1, I think you need to do a bit more. You need to maybe go to Padjadjaran University and take some additional lessons there.
Yeah, actually we have it in Campus Merdeka scheme.
Ah, there you go.
All students coming from outside the university can have a class, having a lessons. So
there you go. Is it a free lesson, Ibu?
Yeah.
Free lesson, there you go.
Free lesson.
Yeah. Bu Yvonne, any thoughts on how people can go up from B2 to C1?
Okay, the question is, how can I improve from B2 to C1, even C2 using technology? This is a tricky question actually, because once again, it's not the technology, it's the way we learn. So we need to expose ourselves to nutritious language.
Yeah.
Really talk about nutrition, language nutrition. Yeah, so nutritious language that will help us when we are in N+1, I guess. So finding the right level of books to read, finding enough time to watch movies. So not all the good things about language learning, you know, but add to the exposure. I would say expose yourself to more English, and then try to notice the small things. And then what I did when I was younger was actually I watched a lot of movies. I watched lots of movies, and then I imitate the speakers. So that way I get the expressions and the way they say things. You know, so that will probably help us a little in improving our B2 to C1. But again, yeah, more and more practice within your level would probably work best. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I look at the Bob? The question is for who? From
No,
Nurul, yeah?
Nurul
Nurul, can
Alif,
I look at you? Nurul, can you turn on the video? Nurul, can you give Nurul some FaceTime? Nurul, I think that's a very good question, Nurul.
Hi, Mr. Willy.
Where are you? Nurul, yes. Okay, Nurul, can you say something, please? Let me hear you.
So actually,
Yes.
I've already done everything that you said before, like using social media and also watch a lot of movies, everything. But I'm still stuck at B2 for a long time. So it's time to move to C1 level.
Okay.
That's what.
So you're not very happy with B2, yeah? You want to go up to C1. Okay. Very good. Like I said earlier on, B2 is very good. B2 actually is very, very good. But at the B2 level, you need to further improve on your fluency and also on your accuracy of speaking and also writing. So that's point number one. Point number two. Now, here is one suggestion that I have for you. Since you are already at the B2 level, my guess is that you'll be able to understand presentations at the TED, TED Talks. Have you tried that, Nurul? TED? TED.
Yes, already said,
okay.
I already tried that.
Yes, okay. Now, I would like to encourage you to do this. Spend at least half an hour, if not 1 hour a day, listening or finding interesting TED Talks. And then while you are listening, do shadowing. Now, shadowing basically is following along. So read along with the speakers. So it's something like when you try to practice singing, like karaoke, but the technique is called shadowing. Do this for 1 year. I think you will find that your speaking ability will improve a great deal. So that is for the pronunciation bit, yeah, for the speaking bit. If you want to improve more on your writing, then I think you need to read more. Read more and write more. And there's no other way. Read more and write more. And of course, you need to make use of the language whenever you have the opportunity. My guess is you will need about 1 year to do it. Yeah. So in 1 year's time, please send me an email and say that, hey, Pak Willy, I've tried all these things and I still have not improved. Or I have now improved. Now, if you say you have not improved, then I will tell you, please come to Singapore. And I will tell you the secret. Yeah. Now, usually people say that for you to go up one level, like from B1 to B2 or B2 to C1, you need at least 200 hours. 200 hours that you spend, learning the language using the right methodology. Jadi tidak hanya sekedar spending 1 hour here, 1 hour there, no, but it has to be something that is well aligned with the theory of language learning. Yeah, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I remember that when I was in my first year of uni, I was so obsessed about improving myself. I was not able to speak in English or write in English. So it was only reading and listening, and then my grammar was okay, and then my vocabulary was okay. I pushed myself too hard, and actually almost gave up learning English at the beginning in the first 2 weeks of my study in college. And I told my dad that, look, this is too difficult for me. I'm not good at this, and I wanted him to transfer me to a different department. And then he said, give it time. If you don't like it, then by the end of the semester, I will transfer you to a different department. And that's what I did. I relaxed a little bit. I didn't push myself too hard. I tried to enjoy the ride. Yeah. And by the end of the semester, I got really good, actually. So, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go, Nurul. Our advice to you. Bu Amalia mungkin.
Yeah, a little
If you
bit.
have any
Maybe I would
advice.
like to share my my story, my experience, yeah, to everyone here. Actually, I also take or have some materials from TED Talks in my translations class, and also from the uh, Instagram. Instagram like World Economic Forum, something usually pop up on your feeds, yeah. I usually take it as my material in my class because there are a lot of competencies that students can get through this kind of media, through this kind of this material. So you can ask your lecturer, let's say in class, Ibu, saya mau dong ada materi misalnya dari TED Talks ya. Because through this media, we do not only learn or study about English as a structure of the language, but we also can discuss about interesting topic through TED Talks because they have a variety of topics. Like sometimes the speaker talks about artificial intelligence in language. That's very interesting to learn. And then also about what else? Food waste, and also about time management, how the students in developing countries, let's say, struggle with all obstacles they face, and so on and so on. About the tourism, because the variety of topics enrich us to have more discussions, and at the same time it forces us to drill our vocabularies, and then our idea, and also build up about the critical thinking about the problems that may we face in our life gitu. Jadi bisa minta ke apa pengajarnya ya, Bu, ini sometimes I also get some inputs from my students. Ya, kalau misalnya saya suka nanya juga, kalian mau bahas apa nih hari ini gitu. Kalau diem semuanya, and then I will give my idea. Kalau misalnya ada, Bu, pengen ngomongin masalah COVID, kayak kemarin di awal-awal ya COVID. So we talk about it, like I try to find an interesting and fruitful topics to discuss gitu ya. Dimana di dalam-dalamnya juga kita belajar tentang kebahasaan. Yang tadinya berusaha untuk language nutrition-nya itu dipenuhi begitu ya, dengan cara yang menarik, yang fun, yang nggak bikin bosen begitu. Mungkin juga bisa nanti diinformasikan ke pengajarnya ya. Yeah, I think that's all for me.
Maybe one small tip for everyone. If you've been learning English for some time, for 1 year, for 2 years, for 3 years, and you feel that your English language proficiency does not improve very much, one thing you need to remember is do not blame yourself. Do not say that, well, I'm not talented. Do not say that, well, I'm not good enough. That's not true. English language learning actually is very easy if and only if you are doing it the right way. And I've seen many successful, really good English language learners and speakers. They're normal people like you and me. And they've developed a very high level of proficiency in the English language at the B2 or C1 or even C2. Simply because they have found this secret to learning the language. And what are the secrets? I've shared with you just now. Hyun Jun found the secret. He didn't know that he found the secret, but he did it. You know, for 3 months, he was there surrounded by the language. And he got very good. He became very good at making use of what he learned through that exposure, for at least for doing well on the test. Yeah. So if you have not been successful, it's not because you are bad or because you're not smart or not because you are not talented. I don't believe that. Not because you are not intelligent. I don't believe that. You don't need a very high level of intelligence. IQ-nya harus tinggi, begitu tidak. I am a normal person. When I was young like you, I was very shy. I was very slow. You know, I'm not a very fast learner. But language is easy, actually. Yeah, if and only if you know how to do it. But Andri, yeah, remember 10 times today, depth. Can you say that now?
That.
Yes, very good. Look at that, that. And he got it right. You simply have to remember and do it again until you become very good at it. Yeah. If your grammar is not good, don't blame the grammar, or don't blame the English language, and don't blame your teacher, and don't blame nobody. Don't blame anyone. It's just that you haven't found the right way of doing it. So after today, hopefully, I will come again next year at about the same time. I will check on you, whether or not you have improved. Yeah, Hasna? Hasna, I will come again 1 year from now, and I will check whether your English has improved. Vinati, I will also check on you. Lina Mariana, I will also check on you next year, yeah? Siti Fatima, these are our students, yeah? Sastra. Yes, back to you, Mr. MC, Pak Harlan, Pak Andri.
Oke, baiklah saya ambil alih. Oke, we have a lot of knowledge for today dari Ibu Dr. Amalia, kemudian Dr. Willy dan Dr. Yvonne. Mereka sudah membuka ruang pengetahuan yang bisa kita curi. Jadi saya percaya bahwa semua peserta di sini adalah pencuri yang handal. Jadi kita mencuri, kemudian tadi dapat sesi 60 menit question and answer session untuk mendapatkan validasi bahwa ini nih benar nggak barangnya untuk saya. Jadi sudah mendapatkan validasi dari apa yang kalian curi. Sebenarnya dari Dr. Willy tadi saya juga pernah memiliki pengalaman yang sama. Jadi satu waktu di kelas saya mengajarkan tentang bagaimana cara berpikir Gayatri Chakraborty's Vivak. I give like presentation for 20 minutes and tidak ada satupun yang bisa menjelaskan kembali, bahkan mendapatkan inti dari apa yang saya jelaskan. Akhirnya satu waktu saya ajak satu kelas itu nonton ke bioskop, dan setelah nonton 2 jaman kita nongkrong sebentar, dan saya minta setiap orang, gimana tadi filmnya, keren nggak? Setiap mahasiswa mampu menjelaskan bahkan dengan detail. Jadi poin dari ketika mahasiswa atau mahasiswa masuk kelas, saya selalu bilang, when you come into my class, learning is not about understanding, but about enjoying yourself. Pernah juga di kelas vocab saya menggunakan konsep gamification, jadi saya menggunakan Scrabble waktu itu. Jadi saya sekali waktu itu cuma dapat mata kuliah yang tentang bahasa, jadi sisanya tentang teori semua. And don't force yourself. Kalau saya bisa kasih sedikit analogi ya, karena saya fokus di seks dan gender. It's learning English is like sex. You have to enjoy it. Give yourself. If you don't give yourself, you are being raped. Jadi jangan dinikmati. Jangan merasa diperkosa oleh bahasa. Jadi kalau aku harus sampai ke tahap ini, itu kamu nggak akan bisa menikmati itu. Jadi berikan dirimu. Jangan merasa tertekan oleh itu. Okay, at my position, I have a so-so English. So if I imagine myself, if I have a good English like Mr. Willy, maybe I will be a minister next time or later. Okay, thank you again to our speakers for answering those questions and for the great presentation. It was a pleasure to have you with us. So this concludes the webinar. Thank you for attending. And we hope you learned and enjoyed the presentation. And I give it back to our Master of Ceremony, Mr. Helan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sir Helan.
All right, thank you, Pak Andri.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to conclude that our today's online seminar is indeed really fruitful. We've got the wonderful keynote speaker, Mr. Willy Renandya, one of the best speaker at TEFLIN. The first thing that I met him when I was at Universitas Indonesia. with Ibu Cecilia Halimi, one of my senior lecturer there. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attendance to our today's seminar. And for the participants, do not forget to click on the link that we have shared to you. So you are going to get the certificate. If you do not input your data there, I'm afraid we're not going to give you the e-certificate. So please do so now. And we as the teachers, we've got to be able to motivate our students, okay, to speak. We've got to use the audiolingual method, just like what Mr. Willy said. And for you, the students, you've got to make yourself, accessible to the current technology, yeah? And you have to have the, the high motivation, not deep motivation, just like what Dr. Willy said. And also from Dr. Rosaria Amalia, she delivered a new insightful information to us. Thank you very much for that, Dr. Rosaria. And also to Ibu Francisca Yvonne, thank you very much for your presence here. You also give our students a new information. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for your participation in this seminar. I hope that you enjoyed the program. And before we end up the session, let's have the photo session, all right? So I will lead you all to take the pose, all right? So I will count it in 1, 2, 3, all right? The first style is just like formal pose. Okay, I will count it. Yeah. Our lovely students, please turn on your camera so we will be able to see your visual, okay? Hello guys, if you are still online, please turn on your camera because I'm going to screen shoot your pictures of it. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, in 1, 2, 3, please say cheese. All right. Yeah. Okay. Once again, I give our appreciation to the keynote speakers, to the Honorable Vice Dean of the Faculty of Social and Political Sciences, the moderator, Andri, and our beloved students for attending our online seminar. And we believe that all of you here, you have gained new knowledge, how to pronounce the words, improve that. Thank you very much, everyone. I think that's all for today. I've got to say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a nice day, everyone.
Oke, waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih banyak, Ibu Diana, Pak Willy, Ibu Yvonne.
Thank you. Amalia, stay in touch.
Keep in touch. I will send you email.
Yes, please do.
Very soon. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bu
Pak
Yvonne,
Andri, terima kasih.
Bu Yvonne, apa kabar? Bu Yvonne, ingat saya nggak? Bu, saya PDIC, Bu, PDIC UM 2015.
Oh, okay, Pak.
Some of your students are here.
I know.
Bye now. Bye everyone.
Nice.
Bye, Mr. Willy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Iya, makasih Bu Yvonne. Ya.
Ibu Yvonne, terima kasih. Keep in touch.
Terima kasih Bu Amalia.
Nanti saya email ya Bu.
Pak Andri. Iya Bu, terima kasih.
Pak Bob, di mana Pak Bob? Pak Bob.